Hey, what's up? This is Reed. I've set up over 30 automations in my new house, and so far it's been a pretty smooth ride. That's because the automations are basically invisible to everyone as they run seamlessly in the background. I can't remember the last time I had this much fun with home automation. It's like magic the way everything works together so well. I'm going to show you a lot of these automations I use daily, and they're not groundbreaking or anything, but I'll show you how I fine-tune them to be near perfect. To help you out, I'm going to put a few resources in the description. One is an article with the details of how I set up every automation. The other is a link to download a spreadsheet where I plan my automations. I showed it briefly in a recent video, and I've been using it to set everything up. It's actually helped me more than I thought, and it's a big reason why the automations are running so well. I basically studied my family's habits in this new house to see what would be the most helpful to automate. Alright, first let's start off here in the office. I have a few smart IKEA shades that I wanted to automate for some more natural light. Now I could just automate the shades to open and close every single day at the same time, but I wanted it to only happen if someone was in the room. That way the shades can help block out the sun as much as possible. I decided to use a motion sensor to detect if someone was in the room. It started off as a good idea, but quickly became frustrating if someone was only going in the room for a short amount of time. Also, I didn't want the motion sensor to trigger if I manually close them to avoid a glare on a screen. So I finally figured out a solution. To prevent the shades from opening too quickly, I put a slight delay on it. When you walk into the office, the lights turn on right away, but I added some extra logic to the shade automation. If the lights have been on for at least 1 minute and there is motion, then open the shades. That way, if you go in to grab something real fast and you turn off the lights on your way out, the automation won't start. Now, if there is a glare or something and you want the shades to stay closed all day, it's an easy fix. Limit how often the automation runs so it doesn't get triggered again right away. That way you can still manually open and close the shades without the automation getting in the way. And you can do this with Amazon routines, SmartThings, and Home Assistant, and it works great. Now the shades open when they're supposed to, and the automation doesn't annoy anyone. I need to find a better spot for that button though. There's always something. Next, let's take a look at the doorbell. This is the unified G4 doorbell, and overall I really like it, but it has a few annoyances. First, I get way too many motion notifications, one after another. There's also no way to temporarily disable the chime during baby's nap time, and no image preview for the phone notifications. But I was able to fix all of these with home automation. To tackle the motion notification issue, I first disabled the motion notifications in the Unify app, and then I'm only using the Home Assistant notifications. That way I can fine-tune them better. I thought of a couple ways to cut down on notifications. If I'm walking out the front door, I don't want to be notified. So I added a condition that if the front door opened right before the doorbell detected motion, do not notify me. This makes it so I don't get motion notifications when my front door is open, which is great because normally my phone is buzzing off the hook when I'm talking to someone on the front doorstep. Then, if someone is walking up to the door, only notify me once per minute. Of course, it's still recording 24/7 though. For baby's nap time, I disabled the physical chime completely. Then I added an automation to announce someone's at the door through the echoes when the doorbell is pressed.
Someone is at the front door.
I set up one more Amazon routine to run daily that puts all my echoes in do not disturb mode during nap time, so the doorbell doesn't wake anyone up. Finally, the image preview notification. I was able to add a few lines of code to the automation and it works. Now I can quickly see who's there without opening up the app. I know other doorbells can do this by default, but I was happy an automation could fix this problem for me. Now for the laundry room. I thought I could add a simple automation to help me out, but I was wrong to think things could just be simple. As many of you pointed out, I need to automate the vent in my laundry room since my networking equipment is in there. I installed a smart switch to turn on when the washer or dryer starts. I thought I was done because it's a simple automation, right? Nope, I was defeated by my family once again. See, the automation worked and turned on the switch when the laundry started, but someone, it's unclear who, physically turned off the switch after the automation ran. And I wasn't even mad. Actually, I was impressed with the dedication my family has at messing up my automations. But I struck back though. I created an automation that turns the switch right back on if it's turned off while the washer or dryer is running. Take that, family! Just kidding, I love you guys. I also created an automation that announces on the echoes to move the clothes from the washer to the dryer. But I didn't want to make it annoying if someone had already done it. So I tweaked the automation to only announce if the dryer hasn't started 10 minutes after the washer finished. I'm working on sending notifications just to the person that started their laundry so it doesn't bug anyone else, so stay tuned for that one. When it comes to light automations, there's a lot that can go into it. I've tried many different solutions over the years, and this is the best combination that I've been able to come up with. For some rooms, like my pantry or laundry room, a basic motion light switch works great. It turns the light on quickly when entering and turns off the light when I'm not in there. Then there are other areas like my hallway where I want the light to turn on or off for motion, but I also want some smart functionality to automate them if I want to. Lastly, there are rooms like the office, family room, or kitchen where I hang out for a while. In those, I err on the side of leaving the lights on and only turn them off if I need to. So in my kitchen and family room area, the lights fade on slowly before dinner. Then they stay on for a few hours since we're in and out of those rooms so much during that time. After the kids go to bed, the lights automatically go to a relaxing dim brightness and stay on. I want to be in a vegetative state, so motion detection wouldn't be ideal. Why do I look exhausted? It's not because of my kids. I promise, definitely not because of my kids. After 11 p.m., the lights turn on and off only using motion until it's morning. Oh, in the office it's slightly different. The lights turn on for motion, but the brightness is set based on the time of day. So if you walk in there late at night, the lights are not blinding. Also, all the motion lights only turn on from motion if they've been off for at least a minute. That way, if I want to turn off the lights with a light switch, it won't immediately turn back on from a motion sensor. In this way, all my lights work exactly how I want them to, and I don't even have to think about it. It's amazing. There's also one more missing piece that covers all the loose ends on every automation, and that's the exceptions. Let me explain with a few examples. I have my robot vacuum automated to start cleaning when all the phones have left the house. Then the vacuum will dock when someone gets home. Since we have little kids, they don't have a smartphone yet. So if they're home with the babysitter, the automation would still run. I don't want to bother anyone with a robot vacuum, so I have a smart IKEA button to temporarily disable some automations, or if guests are visiting, because you don't want the lights dimming or turning off when people are visiting. I made a separate column in the spreadsheet to keep track of what automations I would temporarily disable with that button. Then I made a virtual or Boolean switch that I can turn on and off. Those automations only run if the switch is turned off. Also, every morning an automation runs to reset them daily. If you are setting up a bunch of automations, I highly suggest using tools to make sure the automations are running the way you think they should be. That could be checking the logs or even sending yourself notifications. That way you know an automation is running whether it's supposed to or not. There's even some really cool things that you can use to debug the logic of the automation. I'll explain more in that article linked below. Because once everything is set up correctly from the start, it's really rewarding to enjoy the automations after. I'm not able to cover all the automations I've set up in my house so far in this video. So make sure you're following the channel with notifications turned on to see more. Thanks for watching, we'll see you again next time. Oh hey, we won't get motion notifications on the doorbell if the front door is open now.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, we definitely don't need to be alerted when someone goes out the front door.